second. So, how's it going, guys? Stay Weird 1993 here, or of course, Stay Weird 1993 vlogs if you follow my YouTube channel. Welcome back to Destiny 2. We're joined tonight on Discord by our good friend Lord Arbiter, who's always in our streams. So we've got him on voice chat with us tonight, and we might have other people joining us later on. Just depends. We're just gonna do some basically random crap here. We'll just see what we can get some rewards from this week. So, what haven't I claimed? I'm probably going to run strikes, but have I got anything left in Gambit? Because I quite enjoyed playing Gambit. I didn't like Gambit, and then I started playing it, and then I was like, oh, this is actually okay. This is actually quite fun. I think it's because Gambit's... See, I don't know if you feel like this, Lord Arbiter, but Gambit is PvP, but mostly it's not. It's like you have to fight maybe one enemy, but you still get the whole competitive, can we beat these enemies before the other team does? So it's still PvP, but without actually having to PvP.
Yeah, I've seen it.
It's all right. I mean, what I'd love to be able to. I'd love it if I had a team for Trials of Osiris, but I just don't. It's like I want enough. There's a new dungeon called, funny enough, we were just talking about it, Prophecy.
Yeah.
But it's recommended at 1040 power level. So 1040, but I'm 1009.
I'm like at 941.
941. See, they've got the Trials of Osiris, but I don't have a team. It's like...
I'm never touching Trials of Osiris. I've heard that's just AIDS.
I just heard it's AIDS.
That's just AIDS full of AIDS who try hard.
I mean, you're going to get a lot of people who are sweating out, to be fair.
Especially that one.
That's what bothers me, right? You know, like when you... Sometimes, especially when it's later on and I'm a little tired and I just want to play some Destiny, and there's some guy who's like MLG going... as I try and... it's like, dude, I'm just trying to play my... I'm just trying to, like, grind some light level, dude, and he's just like, no! And it's like, it's like, okay, then. So, alright.
Yeah, I never see people, like, just sweating off. I just imagine them, like, just jacking off to each kill they get.
It depends. If they play Warlock, probably. But that's... This meme was made by Titan Gang. But it's like, no, honestly, it's funny because I started off playing Warlock and I love Warlock, but I found that this might just be my experience with the community side of Destiny. And there's a really great Destiny community, but only if you play Titan. On Bungie.net, it's like when I went to the Warlock community, it was people going, well, you're just an idiot. It's like, okay then.
And then there's the most overplayed.
The Hunter. But the Hunter's overplayed because it's literally, you can cheese anything as a Hunter, and that's why it's good. It's the reason that people play rogues in World of Warcraft.
Yeah, which I'm a proud player of a Hunter.
That's fine. My best friend Jacob, like, I mean, he's obviously he's a PS4 player, so he can't cross-platform with me until next year.
Yeah.
And I will, and he said that he's going to get the next expansion so he can come on stream with me and do Destiny stuff.
Oh yeah.
Well,
there's enough time to at the time. Yeah.
I'm sure. I mean, it's probably about a year away. So
2021. I want it to be sooner, but who knows with Bungie.
Well, the thing with Bungie is they've announced that the next expansion is the end of this year, so it's whether it comes with that or whether the cross-platform is. I think with them, you've got to bear in mind as well, game developers in America, their lockdown started way after ours, so they're all still working from home. Yeah. I mean, I'm still working from home, but it's like, I mean, like game studios, I feel so bad for them. I mean, they can work from home, but can you imagine how stressful it is? Like, trying to do game design. It's like, I can't go to my buddy's desk and ask for help. Or I can't go and ask what they think of this. I have to go get them in a bloody Zoom meeting to ask them if this piece of loot makes the character like he's got a dick on his head or not. It's like... whereas, like, when I used to be a graphic designer, for example, if I had to work from home, it was an absolute ball ache, because rather than going over to my buddy's desk going, oh, hey, Andy, which was the other designer, Going, oh, hey Andy, does this pattern look like it's got a subtle penis in it, or are we good? He'd be like, oh no, that's fine, man. If I had to do that like over email or something, it'd take me 15 minutes to get an answer, and then that's my workflow delayed. Now, bearing in mind, he was the senior designer and I was sort of the junior. We had one junior designer and one senior designer. So what would happen is I would do my artwork and he wouldn't tell me how to do it. He's like, no, I trust you to do the artwork and I trust you to do it, but I need to review it when you do it. So he needs to have a look at it, just make sure there's nothing he would change, or nothing that he thinks is like, because bearing in mind he'd been doing it for about 5 years more than I had. So he would just go, yeah, that's fine, or oh, you need to change this a little bit, or maybe change the color here, or I don't like the way this looked, maybe you could change this, just like the only reason that you had a head designer was so that you had a point of reference for if you weren't sure if what you were doing looked okay. If you had to do that process from home, it's an absolute nightmare. I mean, the joy of being a freelancer is I am my own head designer. But that's not my full-time job. My full-time job is, I won't mention where I work on stream because, as I say, but I basically work in the pensions department. I work in the private sector, sort of, dealing with pensions, which is fine, but it's nothing to do with graphic design. Which means it sounds daft, but I'm not designing video games. I'm not playing video games. I'm not playing Yu-Gi-Oh! When I'm not drinking alcohol, which means it's not really got anything to do with my interests. It's like, well, I mean, luckily I haven't had to go back to the office. And I was thinking about this. It's like, when am I going to go back to the office? Because it does feel weird not being able to go to work in the morning. And what I've realized is that the reason is that the place where I work, there's 2,000 people in that building. There's no way in hell we could all go in there and social distance. It's not big enough. It's nowhere near big enough, which is fine. It's just, I feel sorry for my friend who is a tattooist. He can't open his tattoo studio. But then Claire's Accessories can open and they can pierce people there. But, apparently the tattooists can't open, but Claire's, who basically pierce people with a staple gun, they can open. It's like, it's weird.
I think with tattoos, you're touching people more as a tattoo artist, aren't you?
Oh yeah, but what I mean with a lot of tattoo studios is you've got piercers as well. And now the piercers there, it's a lot more hygienic in a piercing studio than it is in Claire's Accessories. I'm not bad-mouthing Claire's Accessories or anything. What I'm saying is that a piercing studio is, the whole point of having a piercer there is that it's not part of their job, that it's their whole job. So it's hard for me to understand how it could possibly be seen to be a, what's the word I'm looking for? How it could be seen to be a negative. How's it going, Klepto? You all right, man? Me and Arbiter are over on the Discord if you are going to drop in at any point. But yeah, it's like Claire's is interesting. What my problem with it is not that they've opened, it's the fact that the piercing studios can't open, but they can open and do piercings. I'm somebody who's got a lot of friends who work in the tattoo industry. If it's not evident by the fact I've got tattoos on my hands, on the side of my head, on my throat, on all of my arms, I've got a lot of tattoos. Okay, I know a lot of tattooists, and it's like, and I feel sorry for my brother. I mean, luckily, we're reaching a point where the bars are going to be able to reopen at the weekend, I think, or but like social distancing, or they're going to have to put certain rules in place, but the bars might be able to reopen. My brother's been furloughed, which means that, his income it's not been stopped, but, yeah, no worries, Klepto, that's fine. I'd say Klepto won't be able to join us until Thursday, which is it's all good. As I say, he's watching us on stream, which means he's still showing his support, which is all we ask for. and from what we've got here is we've got to
Oh, it's on now. Oh, it's on now.
yeah, he's oh nice. I'm currently doing. I've got a daily repeatable mission where I can get some more pinnacle gear. So
See, when I saw you in the voice chat, I thought you were doing your pro when I saw you in the voice chat.
yeah, what?
When I first saw you in the voice chat,
Yeah.
I thought you were doing your pro when I saw you.
Nah. Sorry, I've had this really annoying cough for like a week. It's like it's not even a bad cough. It's just like the frog in your throat feeling.
Yeah.
Every time I cough on a call, people seem to get nervous. I'm like, listen, I can't. Even if I did have an illness that I'm not going to name on stream because I don't want to get banned. It's if I did have that, it's like I'm sure my cough would be significantly worse. And it's like it's weird. I had to go to Meadowhall yesterday because we had to pick some clothes up for the girls, for the kids. And obviously because Beatrice, she's almost a year old now, so we had to get her some new clothes. And basically, the second I coughed when I was in public, you should have seen the look on the people around me. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, I think you pictured the look on the face.
It's like, oh no. It's like I'm sorry, I cleared my throat after I ate some spicy food. Is that so bad?
I bet security gave you some funny looks as well.
Well, I mean, they probably did, but I was kind of, I don't know. It's like it was my first time really out of the house that far in the best part of 14 weeks. Like I hadn't been that far. I'd been for a walk to the woods. I hadn't been to a shopping centre or anything. But we had to get some more clothes for the kids, and I was like, well, I can't expect Chloe to go on her own with 2 kids. So I thought, well, I'll go for a walk. It gives me an excuse. I can get a Starbucks. Because that's where my partner works. She works at Starbucks. It's like, yeah. Oh, where are you? You're in the retail park. Oh my god. Klepto was in the retail park. He would have been like not far away from me if he'd have known. It's like, as I say, it was only supposed to be a flyby visit anyway. I didn't want to be out. We didn't want to be outside for too long, realistically speaking, because I am very much aware there's still a pandemic going on, even if the children need clothes.
Well, apparently we soon we're meant. So my mom told me earlier today.
Yeah.
We're meant to be able. Soon we're meant to be able to go out and at least meet up. Yeah, at least 6 people.
Yeah, it's like at the minute you can do the bubble thing where it's like your family can meet one other family or something. Like that's right now. But I think that eventually what they're going to do is I think the next step is that you can meet like your friends in groups of 6.
Yeah.
And then after that, I imagine there's not much else to be done.
But you'll when this happens, you'll able to meet people up to a group of 6, and it has to be outside still, of course. I'm going shopping. I'm going to shops.
So does that mean I'm allowed to go and get drunk on a field?
I'm still gonna say that's me a no.
I mean, if there's only 6 of us.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna say that's a no with or without a pandemic.
Oh no! You see, the thing is, I'm literally all I want to do. I mean, this weekend the pubs are reopening. I literally just want to go for a pint. That's all I want. I've not been able to go somewhere and ask for a fresh pint for 6. Well, not for like 3.5 months now. I'm not saying. I mean, my dream would be to for corporation to reopen, which is rumored to be happening, but we don't know. My little brother's keeping an ear to the ground because it might be that this weekend they might be doing something at corporation, which is like, well, I'm there then.
But I should imagine they won't be allowing too many people.
I think from what my brother says, because my brother's one of the bar guys at Corp. They're doing an outside thing, so because they've got a private venue that's not a nightclub next door, the Trafalgar Warehouse. Um, and what it sounds like they're doing is they're going to open the warehouse because it's much more spacious, so therefore safer to have. And they're going to make it like so there's seating area, so it's like seated.
Yeah.
So and then they're going to turn like what it was just a big smoking area, which is like a massive car park, really. They're on about turning that into like a beer garden. So like having tables and chairs around the edge and stuff.
Yeah.
Which, if they're doing social distancing and it's safe, I will definitely try and go. I'm just looking forward to it because a lot of my friends, that's where I would go to meet them at the weekend, or well, once or twice a month, I'd go down to Corp, for a night out with my partner.
Yeah.
And we. So what the perfect plan is that when it all eventually goes back to normal is, Chloe will be going to work on a Saturday morning, and I'll go down to my locals, Patriots, and then what'll happen is in the evening, I'll come back. So 4 or 5 o'clock, I'll make my way back home, and then we'll get ready, and then we're gonna go then to come back to town later on for about 9 o'clock. That's what that and I'm just looking forward to being able to do that, to be able to go back to my locals rather than having to play on Edo Pro. Now I've actually bought cards I want and made a proper comeback. And it's like, I've made a comeback and I want to play competitively again. But maybe I'm not going to build tier 0 decks. I'm just going to build the decks I want, but it doesn't mean I don't want to participate in tournaments. Because I'm just imagining the salt if I play a rogue deck and end up topping or something. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, well then if you top with the rogue deck, then you're just be the next Russell.
It's like, oh, here's Aaron with his fucking Necros deck. So what happened? Well, Aaron came with Necros deck, and everyone got really mad. It's like, well, it's like, so what happened? Well, then he stopped us playing Yu-Gi-Oh, basically. It's like, well, yeah, that's that. That was exactly what I came with that, and that.
That's basically what Yu-Gi-Oh! The TCG card game is now, just saying no to your opponent, saying your opponent can't play turn one before they get a turn.
But that's the thing. It's like if every deck stops your opponent play, it's not about who can stop you. It's more about can you stop your opponent from making their play before you make yours, which is kind of it for me. That's a better format than it was. You're going to get OTK'd. Which was when I left the game. That's all it was.
See, when I left the game, it was like, I roll highest on dice. I go first, and this is my opponent talking. I summon all these monsters. I summon like all the monsters from the extra deck, and that respawn them as negates as I'm playing.
Yeah, it's like that was what annoyed me. Like the point when I took a step away from the game, it was when just before Link Monsters. It was just before Link Monsters came out, and it was like where what was happening was that there was this really irritating dynamic where it was just pendulum spam.
Yes, I know it.
It's like set scales, summon 5, and you were like, oh.
Turn them back to the extra deck, summon some.
Then overlay, pendulum summon again, and you were just like, mate. It's like, it got to a point where it's like, if I have to hear the phrase odd eyes one more time today, I'm gonna scream.
The odd eyes kind of better because it does double damage when you battle.
Yeah, and it was like there was a format. You had odd eyes running around. It's like the one deck I don't like at the minute. Weirdly, it's not because it's annoying to play against, because it's not that it's annoying. It's that it's a really good deck that I don't like playing against, and that's Altergeist.
I hate Altergeist.
I like them, as in I would build them, but I don't want to.
Altergeist is just like stuff you don't play.
Yeah, Altergeist is like you don't get to play today. It's like Altergeist is like, how about we just stop you playing the game, and then we stop you playing the game some more, and then we make Hextia and we win.
Yeah.
It's like, and that's fine, except the decks I've built have got sort of countermeasures in place. So, like the point of with Necros, where they can't, as long as Unicor's on the field, and I've got protection on him, they can't use their extra deck, which means they can't make Hextia.
Yeah, but like right now, there's many ways around that card.
Oh yeah, it's true, but it's like what you need to do is that you know, you got to be smart as well because of the way hand traps work as well nowadays.
Yeah.
You've got to, what you got to do is learn to bait out your opponent's hand traps, or just do what you do and play Battle Fader and confuse the hell out of them.
And then you can offer your mono. So
What happens if somebody Ash Blossoms a Battle Fader?
you can't Ash Blossom a Battle Fader.
I'm gonna say, like, because its effect is triggered in the hand, right?
No, Ash Blossom stops.
It summons.
Graveyard and searching.
Oh yeah, it does. Wait, which one am I thinking of then? That you can
You're thinking,
Ghost.
Oh god.
It's Ghost Ogre, yeah. Anyway, one of the other hand traps is like a little anime child.
You all are.
Yeah, there's a yeah, the one, the little, yeah. It's like it's one of them where it's like it can stop summons. You know what I mean? Or it can.
I don't think
Is it is it? It might be effect also. Would it make? Yeah. Sorry, go on.
Stops the summon, but not the effect.
Okay, so you just wouldn't be able to do it. You would if they go back. It's like Solemn in that way, like.
Yeah, because not Ghost Ogre, it only destroys, it doesn't again, just destroys.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's it. And it's like one. I remember one time when I was when I played Battle Fader and someone like raged at me because they'd made that OTK board.
I remember one time I saw someone tried to set up that I had no land left in the Frogmon art deck,
Yeah.
and I top decked Marshmallow.
Yeah.
I set it, he tried to Chimera attack me today. He tried to put me Chimera attack, flipped my Marshmallow, did he dealt 1,000 damage for effect.
You see, that it was Chimera Tech that I'll tell you mine afterwards, but mine involves a Chimera Tech and a Power Bond, and it's hilarious.
And then I just go, yes, I shall then play Monoxstone 4, to build Chimera Attack for my Mobius the Frost Monarch, not before the Mega, destroy your back row and just kill you fast with Mobius.
Oh,
All through a Marshmallow and
that's great. See, I remember I would do this guy who was doing like a Chimera Tech Overload, like it was like, what was it, a limiter removal OTK Power Bond thing, right? So what he did was he made this board, like he power bonds into Chimera Tech and he uses it, like he uses his second power bond on it like something else. Drops them and then goes, okay, and I've got an empty field. He goes, attack. I go, Battle Fader. And he goes, oh. and then ends turn takes like 8k damage from his monsters that he's power bonded. Like he just takes it to the face, and that's how he lost. It's like the time when I did the same thing but with Threatening Roar.
Oh god.
And they hadn't got a counter. Like I'd let them just power bond and make board. You know, make the board. It's like, yeah, go on, okay, that's fine. And like, have you got a counter? Like, obviously they assumed by this point, because I'm not revealing face down, that it's a bluff. And then they go, okay, declare attack, Threatening Roar.
See, the thing is though, my Marshmallow and Stone Tribute Frogmon art deck created so much soul.
Yeah, I know. One really, really funny moment. I mean, this is going all the way back to secondary school, so we're talking around the time that Elemental Energy came out, I believe it was. So the one with shining, the one where Shining Flare Wingman came in it.
Oh
Elemental energy. Yeah. I
Yeah.
think it was. Was it elemental? Yeah. Yeah. It must have been. Because I got Shining Flare Wingman anyway. Because I was running Elemental Heroes at the time.
Oh, the
Um,
old ones.
like old ones, where your sort of end game was Shining Flare Wingman or Tempest kind of thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, my friend was running a Cyber End Dragon deck at the time, and I remember using this. And I can't remember the exact play, but basically his Cyber End Dragon negated the attack. He lost 4k off the power bond.
Yeah. Yes.
And then and then next turn I'm going, okay, and then make Shining Flare Wingman, it gets a massive power boost, and then just runs over whatever he had on the field at the time. And he was so mad he literally slapped his Cyber Dragon deck across the library floor and stormed out of the room. He wasn't a very he was a sore loser.
I'm not. I know I'm not a good loser, but come on.
It's like not only that, but the fact that at the time he was a kid, which means his parents would have spent the money on the deck, right?
Yes.
And so that's like birthday presents and Christmas presents he just slapped all over the floor because he lost to Shining Flare Wingman again. So then he made this. So then he was like, right, okay, I'll play against you if you stop playing Elemental Heroes, which was like fair enough because he hated Elemental Heroes. He hated.
And you beat it with something even more insulting.
I made Macro Atos deck. That's where the Macro Atos deck came from. And by this time, it was a little later, so like a couple of years later, so maybe year 11.
Yeah.
And that's when the Macro Atos deck came about. And he was
Yeah.
like, okay, that's fine, because he built a Blue Eyes deck by then and was playing kind of like a traditional Kyber / Blue Eyes deck, a bit casual, but
Yeah.
I love Blue Eyes as an archetype if you play it right. But then he got so mad because what he would do is he'd do stuff and then go, okay, Monster Reborn, Macrocosmos. What's that? Anything that goes up that is banished after this point. So he goes summon it back. Okay, my turn. Dark Hole. So then I'd destroy kill his Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, and whatever, like his Kaiser Glider or whatever he got on the field back. This is like casual play, bear in mind, not competitive. And he would, because bearing in mind I was going to Patriots at this point, he wasn't. So I'd got this competitive Macro Atos deck going on, and he was like playing Seto Kaiba deck basically that he'd made himself, and it was so funny because he was like, so what do you mean? So, when I say Macro Atos, he's like, okay, so just watch, and then explain to him what was going on, and then explain to him that all of his monsters were getting banished every time anytime they went hit the grave. And he was like, well, that's not fair. I went, no, I didn't say it was fair. I didn't. I never. Who said it was fair? It's like, do you not play Mystical Space Typhoon? Do you not have anything that can destroy a trap card?
Oh, I'm a Steed card that negates.
Yeah, it negates. Definitely negates, man. There's nice golden fucking leg, Klepto says, because I'm customizing my character and he just sees like nice leg. It's like, to be fair, that's my intrusive thoughts.
One thing I like to do on an EDO.
Yeah.
Is play two or three copies of Soul Absorption, Macro Cosmos, and 3 Necro single Sarcophagus in the remove from play deck. So you go to Sarcophagus, you banish 1 Necro face from your deck, and if you mill the other 2, you gain like 15 plus K life points in 1 turn.
It's good.
It's like, how have you got so much life points? But I know what's
it's
good
great.
I know what's good in the move from play deck.
What?
The DD monsters.
It's like, it's true. The DD monsters. You see, that's the thing. It's like, what I would do is like this Macro Atos deck I used to run. It was evil. It was pure evil. Because the whole point of it was banish, 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 special summon Atos. And then once Atos is on the field, you're like, okay, so the end game here is that you're going to either rage quit before Eatos destroys all your monsters and then they get banished because of Macrocosmos, or I'm just going to run over you with Eatos. Because Eatos comes out, clears the field, it's got 3k. You can special summon 2 in the turn because if the conditions are met, it's great. Because you're like, okay, so the summoning conditions are met, which is I control no monsters and there's no monsters left in my graveyard. So I can special summon her when there's no monsters in my graveyard. So then I just go, okay, special summon 3 Atos. So Dark Hole, 3 Atos, attack the game. You know.
Yeah,
And
I love it. Yeah, how I always like to my remove from play decks is make it so you gain so much life points in one turn, like my opponent can't even begin to kill me.
I just like playing cards that make people mad. Which is why I built Monarchs as well. It's exactly why I built Monarchs, because Monarchs make people really mad.
Yeah, if you play Monarchs, you're basically the bully of the room.
Yeah, basically Monarchs is bullying your opponent into submission. That's literally what it is.
That's what he needs to do.
All it needs to do is like bully your opponent, and it's like, and if that wasn't enough, yeah, I'm gonna attribute one of your monsters for this summon. Are we okay with that?
Yeah, just
Yeah.
okay. Set escalation.
That's-
Set one monster in defense. Set Stormforth. So I've set 3 monsters.
Yes, it's a set 3 pass, and then you go, okay, Stormforth, tribute this, ether, escalation, ether, and then if you've got the Monarchs erupt set as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's just like, yeah.
I love it because it's like I didn't give it much thought, and then I started dicking around with it on Edo Pro, and then I was like, oh, this is why Lord Arbiter thinks this is fun. It's like this is dumb, and that's why I like it, because it's like, because I was making board against these like tier 1, tier 0 decks, and they were just like, okay, and then I'd be like, okay, so bait out their hand trap with like, you summon like Mithra, and then you summon out a token to their side and they'll Ash Blossom or whatever.
Oh, another thing I do with
Yeah.
my Monarch, I'm doing my Monarchs on EDO is instant fusion.
See, I don't run an extra deck.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, siding. I'm siding these. Instant fusion.
Yeah.
One, 1,000 eyes restrict. Absorb. So I'll absorb their monster, then tribute 1,000 eyes restrict for Monarch.
I like where this is going. It's like, it's like they're like, okay, I've sussed it. He's playing Monarchs. I can deal with this now. I know what I'm playing. And then you just get instant fusion.
Yeah, but wait, he's playing Monarchs, but wait, he's got 1 card in his extra deck.
And then instant fusion. Just that's the point when it's like, have you seen that? I take it you've seen the GIF where it's PewDiePie going, like, and it's just like it's like him getting more and more angry and it's twisting, going. It's like as soon as you, that's how my opponents must feel. With the Necros deck, it must be how they feel when they see Kaleidoscope hit the field. Because they're like, he's gonna play like 3 Necros this turn if he does it right.
You see,
yeah.
Also, that's also on top of 3 battle faders I've got sided. 3 battle faders, instant fusion.
No one expects Battle Fader in current format. It's great because you just drop Battle Fader and they go, you what?
You don't expect it in Monarchs to know that.
See, I use triple Veiler in Monarchs rather than Battle Fader. I use Veiler. And people are like, why are you playing Veiler and not Ash Blossom? Because Veiler, I don't need Ash Blossom. I don't need it in this deck because you won't get to play. You don't understand. You won't get that far.
I'm against an OTK deck and I'm playing Monarch.
Veiler.
Tell me what I do.
Veiler and then Stormforth.
Yeah.
So they let them summon. Let them summon. Give them the false sense of security. Let them summon, and then what you do is that's when you drop Veiler. And then they go, oh, And then well I've still got my monster, Stormforth. Hmm.
Yeah, when you see my deck, my Monarch deck in the
Oh
deck
yeah,
build
in
channel, you'll love it. You will love why I love playing the build.
what
You'll
I
see why
think.
I love playing it.
See, for me, the funniest thing is just building something that's blatantly mean. Like, the whole point for me is that you need to build something that your opponent's going to hate, because once your opponent gets mad at you, that's when you've already won.
Yeah,
And it's like because when your opponent's mad, they're not going to be paying attention to their plays as much. Um, and that's the way I look at it, right? So your opponents aren't going to be paying as clean attention as they could be to their plays
yeah.
if they're mad, because then they're going to be thinking, well, I'll just do this and I'll just get over their monster. It's like that's
Oh yeah.
fine.
Oh yeah, so if you really are having fun with playing Monarchs, I would seriously suggest reading Caius the Mega Monarchs effect.
I like Caius. It's just I thought about fitting him into the build I'm playing, and at the moment I can't fit him in where I would want to. Um,
Yeah,
and that's just
because
it's just because of my tech. Like, as I say, it's like because I'm running a very pure build on it, very pure
yeah,
Monarch build. It's not to say I won't eventually give it a go. It's just that at the moment I don't desperately need Caius in there. It's definitely a maybe.
yeah.
Um,
See, I want two of him because his effect is so amazing. It's so amazingly funny.
oh no, he is funny. Like you play Caius the Mega Monarch, and then people just go, all right, just all
So
right.
you what? So like tribute. So you tribute a dart. I can tribute. So I can tribute. So I can banish two cards on the field. It's a tribute a dart monster.
Yeah,
And you get burnt for and it's the mega one. You get burnt for 1,000.
it's like yeah. So he has that burn effect, which is what I quite enjoy. I like the fact he has the burn, which is good because it depends on what kind of monarch deck you build, and it is about the build, because some people they like to have that burn element in there.
Yeah,
Other people don't care so much. Like for me, it's more about the bullying your opponent into submission as opposed to burn. Um,
yeah.
it's like, but it's like I think that it's important to. I'm just changing some stuff around on my character. Um,
I, yeah, I just wanted to play I just wanted to play one of each of the good megas.
the megas are decent. Like if you're built if you're running like a mega monarch build,
Yeah, that's what
um,
I am like because the mega monarchs are like yes.
and that's fine. I mean, if that's what you're wanting to run, for me, I don't particularly care for the mega monarchs. Not because I don't like them, but I only really run Zaborg in and that's in other builds.
Yeah,
But that's just personal preference. Like you know what I mean. There's nothing inherently wrong with the mega monarchs. It's just that's not the reason I'm running monarch. If that makes sense.
yeah. I
Um,
remember one of random pack tournaments back down at
oh,
oh
Patriots,
no, it was
Victoria Hall was it?
yeah. I managed to pull two Storm Monarch.
Oh,
So
Riser.
the small one, Miser. And like someone came up to me sometime in the tournament and said, "Are you the guy playing two Rise the Storm Monarch in your deck?"
Oh yeah, and
Like
then
because someone were going around like spreading the word that I was playing two Rise the Storm Monarch in my deck.
I mean to be fair, it's like I get why they're like who pulls two Riser in a random pack tournament. That's just called good luck.
I was playing two of them, so like word were going around, and I think we're getting quite famous. And I think we're getting quite famous because I had someone come up to me saying like, "Are you the guy playing him?"
Yeah, definitely. It's like okay, I was just having a look at my I didn't realize it, but you know, because in collections you can claim back old pieces of armor in Destiny 2.
Yeah.
So if you really want your so when you're looking at how because obviously you can infuse.
Yeah.
You don't have to like particularly like oh well my gear. You can literally just you're basically picking the appearance and you just infuse. Um, and that's the whole point, isn't it? Like so I like that from the first season of Destiny 2. You know the chest piece from Crucible with like the fur lining at the top.
Yeah.
I forgot I'd got that, so I've just taken that chest piece and just infused to make that like 1009. Because I just like the way it looks, and it's like, well, I forgot I could do this, and I can just upgrade it later on. So it's like I'm not at a disadvantage. Sure, it hasn't got the perks on that my other piece has, but they're only minor traits anyway. Let's have a look. What else do I need to do for my gear? So we'll go to IO.
I remember when the Mega Monarch deck, you know, the Robertson Ether deck first came out,
Oh yeah.
and it were tier one with 3 Pantheism and all, 3 of everything. They were like tier one. They were like,
It's like when
okay.
Dark Worlds were tier one. It's like when Dark Worlds were tier one when Dark Worlds came out. Because I remember Dark Worlds because I ran Dark Worlds when they were tier one. It's like I ran Burning Abyss as well. Burning Abyss was good fun. That was a really fun deck. Burning Abyss. Not so much now because like
Oh
well,
no, they've pretty much killed it now.
it's
Unless you mix it with the Phantom Knight cards.
yeah, it's like you could do the Phantom Knight or there's the Danger one. Because you've got like you've got the whole Danger Dark Worlds build. Hey Tickle Pickle, how you doing, man? We got. How's
The
it going, dude?
the danger monsters are just AIDS.
The Danger monsters are so irritating.
They just promote. They were just like, oh, I'm just gonna open up these. I'm gonna open up a million doors for the player.
I mean, I get why they exist as a necessity because they're an out for decks that don't have a natural out for certain situations. Like they are tech that you can put in to make a deck more competitive. But at the same time,
If you've got a big enough bank account for them, yeah.
yeah, I mean, I sold the Danger Bigfoot, which I wasn't using. I sold that for £6 on eBay the other day. So,
Yeah.
I was just saying, hi, how's it going, Tickle my pickle? How's it going, man? Playing some D2, just messing around in Crucible right now, just grinding out some light levels until the reset. Which do you remember? Hey, Albert, do you remember what day the reset is for this game? Is it Wednesday?
I can't remember. I don't touch PvP.
I'm just trying. No, I mean, do you know when the reset is for Destiny normally in terms of like the rewards reset? You know, weekly reset.
I would like to say Sunday, but I'm not sure.
Part of me wants to say Wednesday. I think the reason I want to say Wednesday is that because I know I always thought it tied in with when I was playing World of Warcraft because their weekly reset was like the same day, and Warcraft's is usually Tuesday, Wednesday, depending on what's going on. It's like you know your instance reset. So for example, my weekly rewards. Good. Glad it's going good, man. Yeah. So we got Lord Arbiter on voice chat tonight as well. Because we finally set up a Discord so we can talk while we're playing. It's a little better than listening to me monologue about life.
Yeah, it's also for when we start doing EDO Pro as well.
Well, yeah, when we start doing EDO Pro, that's what I mean. Like, because I need to get around to that. But the thing is, like, obviously I only have one Twitch stream channel. I've got my second layout for my other YouTube channel. For but it's finding there'll be a night that I need to do a bit of research into what nights it's popular to stream EDO Pro more on Twitch, for example.
I haven't seen anyone play it, so I wouldn't say there's any day where it's gonna be popular.
I think it's very niche, so it's like finding out when people do it, because then if I can do it on a day where nobody else or not many people are doing it, then that means that community has somebody to watch on that day. It's
I
like
don't think anybody's streaming it.
that's weird. See, for me that's weird because you can still play that game with people.
I think people dueling, but you know, the non-automated one.
You see, I prefer the automated one just because there's no arguments about missing timing.
Yeah, I prefer the automated one because I'm terrible at math.
You see, for me, for me, it's not. I was okay at maths. I got an A in maths at school, but for what does irritate me is I don't know. It's much easier to like have an argument with somebody if it's not automated. There's a lot more. It's like there's a lot. Yeah.
There are two types of resets in Destiny 2, the weekly reset and daily reset. The main one is the weekly reset, which occurs every Tuesday at the
Oh, so that's fine. So
UK 5 p.m. on a Tuesday.
That's fine because I don't stream on a Tuesday, so obviously tomorrow night it'll reset while I'm not streaming. Which means when I come back Wednesday, I'll have all my weekly grinding to do, which I'll probably do the PvE stuff on the Wednesday, and then probably do all the PvP stuff on Friday night because there's more people playing Crucible on a Friday.
Because it's weekend.
Yeah, and then on Saturday night, I'm probably... Corporation are definitely doing something this Saturday, so I'm definitely going to go to Corporation, even though it's probably not very responsible. I can't help myself. That place attracts me like a moth to a lamp, and I can't help myself. The bars are reopening. I have an excuse to go. Well, my best friends asked me to go because we bought tickets. I bought tickets for the first Saturday they opened, right? Which we thought would be August or something. But what's happened is I don't think I can use those tickets because it's not technically the club night. It's something else. But my argument is, shouldn't I be able to use it because it's the first Saturday that they are open? You know, because it was the first Saturday night that they're open, but technically it's not at the same time. It's a bit weird. But either way, I'm gonna see what the gig is, and my brother will be working Saturday night, so I'll go see him. You know, and it's alright. It just means I'll have to start a mosh pit outside instead of in the main room. It's like I wonder when Patriots is gonna reopen for tournaments and stuff. Probably not for a while yet.
I know Patriot games have been open, you know,
for collection and stuff.
For collections and that, yeah.
Yeah.
Open for that.
I just want to know when Hobby League's coming back.
I just want to know when the Sunday Pokemon stuff come back.
Oh, is that what you go down for, the Sunday Pokemon stuff?
Yeah, now I've been forced to create Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh, well, I'm gonna say for me, I've sort of just walked back into it. And luckily, I mean, with working a full-time job, it's not so much. I'm not gonna buy the money cards that are like £50, but I can put a little bit of money into it. Not a lot, just enough to build something decent. I can afford that. It's like I've got 2 kids. I can't spend all the money on card games like I used to when I was like 19.
Yeah, like if Pokemon ever backfires, which it won't for many years. I've also got Magic the Gathering to fall back on.
See, Magic the Gathering, I tried to play Magic. I liked it, but I don't like resource management. You know, for me, I much prefer the game that I'm playing. It's more based on strategy than how many resources do I have, you know? So I could have a ridiculous play and not enough land in MTG.
I remember the first card game I tried to play.
What was the first card game you got into?
Digimon.
Oh God, Digimon! I remember that.
Yes.
What the hell was that? I remember because I had some of them. I had some of the cards.
I had no clue on how to play it.
I mean, the first trading cards I ever bought were Pokemon, and it was the base set because I bought the base set star deck that came with a shiny Gyarados. Well, not shiny as in red Gyarados, but a foil Gyarados was the boss card. So that was like I think the first starter deck released in English. And then I used to buy the Japanese cards from this place in Meadowhall.
Yeah.
That used to have like the ones where it was like the trainers ones. So yeah, I got like a hollow LT Surge's Raichu, a Giovanni's Hitmonchan, and something
Yeah.
else.
Yeah, see, when it comes to Pokemon, I've got the first deck I picked up going back into it was a Blastoise Steam deck.
Oh yeah.
Really, really OP Palkia.
You see, I'd want to see. I don't know obviously how it works in the meta game of Pokemon, but if I were playing a Pokemon card game, I'd want to just build it around Pokemon I actually liked. Do you know what I mean? Like, for example, my favorite type was always Ghost and Psychic.
You can mix that.
Yeah, it's like I liked Ghost and Psychic, and I quite like Dark. But it was like my favorites. Like, if we're going non-legendaries, my favorites were Gengar and Alakazam. So
Oh yeah. I bought like two.
that
I've actually bought two.
in Kanto, in Johto, my favorites were like Mischievous.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
Mischievous, and there was Umbreon. If I'm going non-legendary, then it was Kanto, Johto, then Hoenn, wasn't it? Uh, yeah, for
Yeah.
Ruby and Sapphire.
And
Uh,
Emerald.
and Emerald, yeah, and that was what did I like in that generation? Let me think. That's not legendary because that's the difficult part. Because I was going to say Latios, but that was he's an Uber anyway. Um, so what was it in that generation? I'm just
I've actually,
thinking. Sorry.
I've actually got two Pokemon binders already.
You see, I've got Pokemon cards, but they're just scattered like random ones, like my first movie promos and like Ancient Mew and stuff like.
Oh, I remember my brother had that the ancient Mew card. We had that.
The Ancient Mew card is still my favorite looking card.
You know that'd probably worth something, right?
See, my fiance's brother-in-law,
Yeah,
he's a Pokemon collector.
yeah,
He's got, he gets his like PSA graded and stuff.
yeah, yeah.
Um, and I was talking to him about Ancient Mew, and he's like, it's actually not worth much to a collector at the minute because there were so many of them made at the time. Um,
Wait,
and it's
have
like
you
it's the value. He
got
said £6 or £7 mostly.
I'm gonna try that on eBay because I should imagine that's got to be worth something because it was such a good card, such a nice looking card.
It was a special edition thing, so it's a bit like for example, it's like if you look at Chaos Emperor Dragon in Yu-Gi-Oh, when the Invasion of Chaos version's going for like 90 to 100 quid now, but the Rise of Destiny, or is it the Lost Millennium Special Edition version's like 9.99? Do you know what I mean? It's like it's like because it's a reprint, but with Ancient Mew it was like eh.
Ah, here we go. The Ancient Mew Pokemon card hologram 1992,000 promo card 8.99.
Yeah, they're not much because it was a promo, but I'm
Wait
keeping a hold
for
of it.
it. Wait for it.
Hmm.
Japanese Hollow Ancient Mew. One Nintendo Hour 1999 Ultra Rare Pokemon card.
Yeah.
£47.
God.
And that's on 23 bids.
That's the thing with Pokemon cards. The value is so weird because you've also got the whole. If you're looking at the core sets, you've got whether they've got shadow or shadowless. If they haven't got the shadow around the border of the image, it's worth more money because it's technically a misprint, which I always found weird. So I'm like, well, why? I always found I know because misprints are rarer, but why would you pay more for a card that doesn't look right? Do you know what I mean?
Because
It's rare.
it's just to make other players jealous.
It's like I don't know where it is, but somewhere in my Yu-Gi-Oh collection, I've got a Dark Beginnings 1 Left Arm of the Forbidden One ultra rare that never got a name printed.
Yeah,
It's got no name.
yeah.
Like it's not like it was missing or rubbed away. There's literally just no indent where the name is. So it's probably worth something, but I just don't know where the hell it is. It's probably in my dad's garage, in a big crate. Because I've got a crate full of my like bulk that I don't even bother with.
Yeah.
because when I moved here, I just didn't take it with me.
Yeah.
Mainly because I don't need it because it's not deck building stuff. It's like some of it's really classic, like Legend of Blue Eyes stuff. You know what I mean? But like stuff that it's not like we're talking commons and stuff though. Do you know what I mean?
Hey,
Um,
oh yeah, you'd be interested. You'd be interested to know, Aaron.
mm,
But you know how you were looking at look on about Ash Blossom.
yeah,
It's been reprinted apparently.
it's a common now.
It's a common. And it's going for like £9.25 a
I
card.
know it's like 10 quid for a common.
Or there's one here. First edition used £7. It's used, so it might probably be a little damaged.
The thing is, what bothers me about Ash Blossom being that price is it's a common card.
Some of mine aren't common.
It's like no, like, but like the ones that are at that price are common cards.
Yeah.
I'm like the day I pay like a tenner for a common card, you know what I mean? Um, that said,
Last
though,
card,
sorry,
last
go
card
on.
I bought off someone was Bull Sword.
Bowl sword, yeah, yeah. I pulled a bowl sword the other day.
I bought someone off called John Zarita for 30 quid.
Oh yeah, I bought a what is it? I bought the 2019 gold sarcophagus tin. I bought one the other day.
Oh,
Because I found one in Meadowhall. They got one
oh,
left when I went down. So
yeah,
I got a decent. I got Boral sword out of that. So I
yeah.
was quite happy with that. Because that's what I actually I want one for one of my extra decks anyway. Um, and then
But
I bought some. Yeah.
well, the other question is, would you be able to make it? Is you need 4 monsters?
In Dark Lords, yes. In Blue Eyes, probably, and in Shadol's, definitely. Um, but it's whether I'd want to waste it in the Shadol's.
Um, I'm gonna say no. I'm not
Be-
too experienced with shadows, but I would say no.
because with the Shadows, the whole point of summoning all those monsters is is so that you can make your fusions.
You can make him fur higher. You can make him fur higher easy.
It's nice to have one just in case you want to fall back on it. Because if the duel's not going your way, right, and you
Yeah.
need something, um, it's it's there. Um, 1 second.
I need to link. I need to put all my put pictures of all my other video products in that rules channel.
You see, I want to build something really stupid. I'm just going to cut this part down for YouTube because otherwise I'm going to get like 2 hour long
Yeah.
parts.